A series of explosions over there in Paris are said to have happened while the French leaders are meeting nearby. What's happening in France? What's happening in Ukraine? Let's go into the details of this situation. Notice that a series of explosions like the ones we saw on that street are being reported over there in France. The street is called Pyrénées, near the Prime Minister's office, where the exact cause hasn't been determined yet, although it seems that some vans were the ones that exploded. Well, there are several details I want to tell you about because what's happening in that area of France is concerning. Also in Ukraine and what's happening in that armed conflict, which has also been escalating almost daily for several weeks now. Now, starting with France, there's tension due to several explosions that shook Avenue de Pyrénées, the political heart of France, according to reports already circulating on social media. They show some of these images where you can see the smoke coming out of one of the vans that exploded. According to what is known, this happened right in the central part of the French political heart, right when the leaders were gathered near a hotel in Matignon. Or not? Isn't this the Prime Minister's headquarters next door? A burning van was reported there. The incident involved a van from the company Cielis, which is dedicated to public lighting, an image that has gone viral where you can see this plume of black smoke. 3 consecutive explosions according to witnesses, not 1 but 3 consecutive explosions, and the fire that draws attention. According to reports, there are no injuries, as confirmed by the Paris firefighters themselves. The unprecedented political crisis in which they say that maybe Macron could have a way out. The French have had 4 prime ministers they've had to replace one after another. Instability is making its mark. A 4th change of government in less than a year and a half. They clearly cause significant uncertainty in both the French economy and the European Union. Explosions occur just meters from the seat of power. Do you think it's a sign that something is brewing behind all of this? President Emmanuel Macron asked Le Corneau to try one last round of negotiations with the parties before Wednesday night. If no solution is found, Macron must either appoint a 5th prime minister or call early general elections. It isn't achieved. This political crisis is happening in the global context, and especially in the regional one, which is even more complex. So far, the authorities have not linked the explosions to any extremist cell, but it is believed that it could have clearly been provoked. According to witnesses, they also say that everything happened practically at the same time, the 3 explosions. So, well, it's probably not a coincidence, but rather this is possibly a message. The police have already cordoned off the areas. They ask the public to avoid speculation, not to come up with strange theories out there, right? That's what they say. They prefer to investigate first and then let people form an opinion with more information. Well, that's what they're saying right now. The point is that the investigation is obviously open at this moment. We will provide more details if any group claims responsibility for this situation. Meanwhile, also stop showing them what's happening in Ukraine because several important issues are being observed. First, since this morning, a series of movements have been reported. Let's see if we can look at the early hours of today. Let's see if we can see it on the screen, what we're seeing here. Let's see if we can catch this explosion. This explosion is part of a series of explosions that have been repeated in several regions. There it is, this explosion. I'm sure they'll report it. The Russian PASNIK S-1 surface-to-air missile system was reportedly attacked in the buildings of Stary Osko, Belgorod region in Russia. This happened during an attempt to intercept a Ukrainian drone. According to reports, this attack has caused a series of chaos in Russia due to similar attacks like this one. Military plants, buildings where there are soldiers, where there are these kinds of things like radar detectors, radar-type antennas, right? Also places where launches have been reported, and even these attacked ammunition depots. The Svedrol ammunition plant, for example, located in Novgorod, was a direct target of an attack. When multiple explosions and fires reportedly occurred at this factory, for example, what we're seeing here is in Crimea, a series of explosions being reported in different parts of Crimea. This, for example, is a terminal, the Russian terminal in Crimea, which has been blown up. No, there it is. Didn't they have to run out too? Well, a series of attacks against Ukraine, which are not only part of this new phase of the war, not only to return a bit of what has been caused, but now Zelensky is reporting a very strong message in which he says that now it's time for Russia to know darkness. This refers to the fact that they are going to attack Russian electrical systems at certain points to cause blackouts, and also to raise some awareness in the sense that Ukrainians have been living like this for years, and they say, well, now they're going to experience a bit of what people in Ukraine have been going through. And that's why the attacks. The ammunition plant located in Novgorod was reportedly attacked by artillery and anti-tank systems. A major fire was also reported at the oil terminal in Crimea. What did I mention to you? This, along with the destruction of a weapons depot in the 18th Russian Army. So there are movements there as well. Russia confirmed shooting down 251 Ukrainian drones across 14 regions, including Crimea. The governor of Novgorod stated that no industrial targets were damaged, although independent media have released videos of the explosions that we have already seen. They always say that it's just scrap when pieces, let's say, fall from the drones when they're shot down, and that's what causes the fires. Well, that's not the case, because you can clearly see how the drone arrives and bursts and explodes, well, whatever it has to explode, right? This brings us back to another topic, because another thing that's also worrying right now is what's happening in Russia and China. According to what Reuters reports, they find out when the pipeline between China and Russia will be completed. It's obviously an important topic because a significant part of the Russian economy will depend on it. It will take 5 years to build the famous gas pipeline to China. By then, Putin and Xi Jinping might both be gone. Well, they're people over 70 years old, so obviously planning things for 5 or 10 years ahead. They won't necessarily be here. Who knows what might happen by then? But Gazprom Chief Executive Officer Alexei Mirel confirmed this during Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit. They proposed that the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline be ready within the next 5 years. So that support that will come from buying more gas and oil from China to Russia will be seen in reality. The benefits are still 5 years away, and a lot can happen during all this time. In the meantime, let me also tell you that every day we're here with international news about what's happening in the world. Thank you for supporting us over there. In the description, there are several ways to support this news channel. Let's move on to other news just a moment.